Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udurayat, Shrinvatam Swagatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Kridyanta Slokya Vadrani Vidnoti Surshitam, Nashtu Prayashtu Padrashu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashlukia Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. We will be reading today Canto 4, Chapter 23, text 35-37. Text 35. Hanyam Yashasyam Ayushyam Svargyam Kalimalabham Dharmatha Kama Mokshanam Samyaksabhim Abhipurabhiv Shradhyatad Anushravyam Chaturnam Karanam Param. Synonyms: Dhanyam, the source of riches; Yashasyam, the source of reputation; Ayushyam, the source of an increased span of life; Svargyam, the source of elevation to the heavenly planets; Kali, of the age of Kali; Mala Apaham, decreasing the contamination; Dharma, religion; Artha, economic development; Kama, sense gratification; Mokshanam, of liberation; Samyak, completely; Siddhim, perfection; Abhipsubhiv, by those desiring; Shradaya, with great respect; Etad, this narration; Anushravyam, must one hear; Chadranam, of the four; Karanam, cause; Param, ultimate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is He Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. By hearing the narration of Prithu Maharaja, one can become great, increase his duration of life, gain promotion to the heavenly planets, and counteract the contaminations of this age of Kali. In addition, one can promote the causes of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Therefore, from all sides, it is advisable for a materialistic person who is interested in such things to read and hear the narrations of the life and character of Prithu Maharaja. Purport. By reading and hearing the narrations of the life and character of Prithu Maharaja, one naturally becomes a devotee, and as soon as one becomes a devotee, his material desires automatically become fulfilled. Therefore, it is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10, Akama Sarva Kamalvam Moksha Kama Udaradhi Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajata Purusham Param. If a person wants to return home back to Godhead, or wants to become a pure devotee, Akama, or wants some material prosperity, Sakama or Sarvakama, or wants to merge into the existence of the Supreme Brahman effulgence, Mokshakama, he is recommended to take to the path of devotional service and hear and chant of Lord Vishnu or of his devotee. This is the sum and substance of all Vedic literatures. Vedischa sarvam aham eva vidya. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. The purpose of Vedic knowledge is to understand Krishna and his devotees. Whenever we speak of Krishna, we refer to his devotees also, for he is not alone. He is never Nivarshesha or Shunya, without variety or zero. Krishna is full of variety, and as soon as Krishna is present, there cannot be any question of void. Text 36. Vijabhimukho Raja Shurvatidad Abhetiyan Parim Tasmai Haranti Agre Rajana Pritave Yadha. Synonyms: Vijaya Abhimukha, one who is about to start for victory; Raja, king; Shrutva, hearing; Etad, this; Abhiti, starts; Yan, on the chariot; Balim, taxes; Tasmai, unto him; Haranti, present; Agre, before; Rajana, other; kings; Prithvi, unto King Prithu; Yadha, as it was done. Translation. If a king who is desirous of attaining victory and ruling power chants the narration of Prithu Maharaja 3 times before going forth on his chariot, all subordinate kings will automatically render all kinds of taxes unto him, as they rendered them unto Maharaja Prithu simply upon his order. Purport. Since a Kshatriya king naturally desires to rule the world, he wishes to make all other kings subordinate to him. This was also the position many years ago when Prithu Maharaja was ruling over the earth. At that time, he was the only emperor on this planet. Even 5,000 years ago, Maharaja Yudhishthira and Maharaja Parikshit were the sole emperors of this planet. Sometimes the subordinate kings rebelled, and it was necessary for the emperor to go and chastise them. This process of chanting the narrations of the life and character of Prithu Maharaja is recommended for conquering kings if they want to fulfill their desire to rule the world. Text 37. Muktanya Sango Bhagavati Amalam Bhakti Udavan Vainyasyak Charitam Punyam Shrinek Shravayat Pathet Mukta Anya Sangam, being freed from all material contamination. Bhagavati unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Amalam unalloyed, Bhaktim devotional service, Udaham carrying out, Vainyasya of the son of Maharaja Vina, Charitam character, Punyam pious, Shnuyat must hear, Shravayat must induce others to hear, Pathed and go on reading. Translation. A pure devotee who is executing the different processes of devotional service may be situated in the transcendental position, being completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, but even he, while discharging devotional service, must hear, read, and induce others to hear about the character and life of Prithu Maharaja. Purport. There is a type of neophyte devotee who is very anxious to hear about the pastimes of the Lord, especially the Rasa Leela chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam. Such devotees should know by this instruction that the pastimes of Prithu Maharaja are not different from the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. An ideal king, Prithu Maharaja, exhibited all talents in showing how to rule the citizens, how to educate them, how to develop the state economically, how to fight enemies, how to perform great sacrifices, yagnas, etc. Thus, it is recommended for the Sahajiya or the neophyte devotee to hear, chant, and get others to hear about the activities of Prithu Maharaja, even though one may think himself to be in the transcendental position of advanced devotional service. End of purport. Om Gyana Trimandasya, Nilanjana Shalakaya, Chakshurunuthaminam, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Patale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachurani Visheshwani Vada Pashtite Dashturani. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadhara Shrivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I humbly bow down and seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas, and thank you for the opportunity to read Srimad Bhagavatam for my own purification. I've selected a few points to summarize from lectures from Parampara. We are reading Canto 4, Chapter 23, which is entitled Maharaja Prithu's Going Back Home. Going home for Prithu Maharaja means going back to Godhead. For the last 3 chapters, we have been reading about wonderful characteristics of Prithu Maharaj, Shakti Avatar, who appeared as a king, and he gave his citizens instructions on importance of spiritual life, on the importance of worshipping the Lord. If everyone would follow King Prithu instructions, then society would be prosperous. Maitreya Rishi is emphasizing one important point in the verse 35. The importance of hearing the glories of pure devotee. The Lord and his devotee are inseparable. Some people say they worship Krishna, but they don't have respect for his devotees. A devotee of the Lord is in a very exalted position. One gets so many benefits when meditating on the pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada tells us, no matter what your desire is, desire of liberation, of material benefit, fame, power, no matter what you want, just worship Krishna. It doesn't matter what your motive is, approach the Supreme Lord. Maitreya Rishi is saying that by hearing the narration of Maharaj Prithu, one can become great because these narrations are purifying. If the Shravanam and Kirtanam are there, then you will progress spiritually. If Shravanam and Kirtanam are weak, then the progress will be weak. Hearing the glories of the Lord, the holy name, is the key to spiritual advancement. Therefore, our goal should be to chant the holy name all the time. And the more attentive we are in chanting and hearing the holy name, the faster will be our spiritual advancement. When one is lacking in spiritual bliss, he is thinking of material bliss. The root cause of material desires in weakened chanting and hearing. In text 35, we are encouraged to think about Prithu Maharaj. In hearing and thinking about Prithu Maharaj, he will automatically get inspired to think about Krishna. All Prithu Maharaj's life was dedicated to serving the Supreme Lord. The absorption to serve the Supreme Lord is the characteristic of the devotee of the Lord. In this text, we have read that by hearing the narration of glories of Prithu Maharaj, one can increase the duration of life, get to heavenly planet, and counteract the contamination of age of Kali. One of the characteristics of Kali Yuga, people are spiritually lazy and they are misguided. No one is thinking about spiritual life. Even in India, where people should have high understanding about God, people don't know proper spiritual way. Some people wear saffron, but they don't have a pure character, and they don't know about the qualities of a sadhu. People in Kali Yuga quarrelsome. They are ready to fight because of the small things. And during the age of Kali, religion and truthfulness are declining every day. Kali Yuga is very contaminating. Nightclubs, gambling available almost everywhere. Internet can provide a lot of different information, good and bad. Maya is at your doorstep. Everyone decides for themselves. Some people can have darshan of deities from Mayapur temple every day anywhere in the world where internet is working. And everyone needs sadhusanga to counteract the effects of Maya. This verse recommends to hear about such devotees as Maharaj Prithu to counteract the contamination of the age of Kali. Hear about the devotees of the Lord. And if your Shravanam and Kirtanam are focused in the right direction, you will be able to make spiritual progress. It doesn't matter how contaminated your heart. Hear about the glories of King Prithu, about the glories of the Lord, about the glories of the devotees of the Lord. Hearing is very important. Attentive hearing Srimad Bhagavatam helps to take advantage of Srimad Bhagavatam, not sleep during Bhagavatam classes. Hearing attentively destroys material desires. Someone asked Srila Prabhupada, "How do you preach so enthusiastically?" Srila Prabhupada said, "I was hearing my spiritual teacher very attentively. The one who hears nicely, he will preach nicely." In text 36, we have read that kings have natural desire to rule the world. This is typical for kshatriyas, to wish other kings to be subordinate to them. It starts with living entity to wish to imitate Krishna. Therefore, sometimes living entity wants to be the controller, the enjoyer, be like Krishna. And first, living entity comes to the material world and becomes a demigod, have great powers and have control over some things and be very attractive, but they are still devotees of the Lord. They recognize the role of the Supreme. Brahma Samhita says Krishna is the supreme controller, the supreme proprietor, the supreme enjoyer, and he is also a supreme friend to everyone. And the person who knows this, he is the liberated person. He has no miseries anymore. During Vedic times, there was only one supreme emperor. Even 5,000 years ago, Srila Prabhupada mentioned Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit. They were Raja Rishis, pure devotees. They maintained high principles with God in the center. These kings had great qualities, and people were happy to be subordinate to such kings. When living entities are in the material world for some time, they forget the supreme position of the Lord, dharma, and religion. During Vedic times, everyone knew that dharma, what had to be done no matter what, for prosperity, peace, for spiritual development. Even nature was in perfect harmony during Raja Rishi's leadership. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, Krishna says that kings should protect everyone and help spiritual growth. Also, we read about other responsibilities and qualities of a kshatriya, among them leadership, generosity, courage. During Kali Yuga, there are so-called kshatriyas. All the politicians misuse their power. God not in the picture at all. They become tyrants and cruel dictators. Kshatriyas working under the mode of passion, and if someone becomes devotee as kshatriya, then everything becomes transcendental, beneficial for everyone. But if someone completely overwhelmed by the mode of passion, they try to control and exploit everyone. They become incredibly greedy. They want more and more, never satisfied. They create powerful armies, dangerous weapons. During Vedic times, kings would conquer and others would surrender. But these conquers would be for the benefit of all people. During Kali Yuga, kings and politicians do crazy and ridiculous things, very problematic. We need to find the solutions to problems by following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the cure to create the prosperity and peace in the world. He is Yuga Avatar and he is the one who gives dharma. The yagya for this age is Sankirtana Yagya. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam distributed all over the world. We need to take advantage of that and follow the Shastra and instructions of spiritual master. In text 37, we have read that everyone, new devotees and senior devotees, should hear, read, and inspire others to hear about the character and life of Prithu Maharaja. Srila Prabhupada is telling us in the purport that ideal king Prithu Maharaja exhibited all talents in showing how to rule the citizens, how to educate them, how to develop the state economically, how to fight enemies, how to perform great sacrifices, yajnas. The pastimes of Prithu Maharaja are not different from the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We need to study Srimad Bhagavatam attentively and faithfully so we get proper qualification and purification, so we can follow the instructions of our spiritual master, properly serve Krishna and his devotees. To summarize these three verses, Maitreya Rishi encouraging us to get absorbed in Shravanam and Kirtanam, to hear about the pure devotee King Prithu. And if one is thinking about the pure devotee, there will be no room for Maya. If there is no room for Maya, the only desire one will have is devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We need to use all means we have for the service of the Lord and his devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam gives the light and directions to the misguided civilization. It creates enlightenment. Fortunately, we have all the ammunition to go back to Godhead. We just need to use the ammunition. If we use the ammunition and we properly hear Bhagavatam, we will get the inspiration to hear and practice that will help us to make the spiritual progress. And try to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. I will stop here. I apologize for any shortcomings during reading and summarizing. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa